What's going on, YouTube? This is Moses here. Of course, that's just my screen name. I don't want to put my real name up there because, well, anyway, I'm here to talk about Asperger's syndrome and social environs, or or the social backgrounds, or backdrops, or whatever you want to call it. But one notable symptom of Asperger's syndrome is they are very timid, or we are very timid, I should say. I've been formally diagnosed at the age of 7 or 8 or 9, somewhere around there. But we come off as very shy, and those of us that don't come off that way are very awkward, socially anyway. But that's just part of Asperger's syndrome. Which is, it explains why guys with Asperger's syndrome aren't outgoing in high school. You know, that nerdy kid that sits at the table by himself. That's his comfort zone. Just don't approach him all at once. You gotta kind of. It's like a hallway with a very tiny door. It's only thick enough for someone to slip through, for one person to slip through, but not a whole crowd. Alright, you gotta go in one at a time, and eventually he'll have his own little circle. But aside from that, we Aspies don't really do that hot in openly social environments. Part of the reason is because we're afraid we'll look like idiots trying to talk to you. We're stuttering all the time, and, well, not necessarily stuttering, but tripping over our own words, and that, and we don't make eye contact with people, and that tends to offend people. But and that kind of gets in the way of small talk or chit chat. Now, with people I've taken time to know, such as my coworkers and people at church, I never have a problem taking the time to go over and just small talk. Okay, they don't get offended. They can tolerate my weirdness, my eccentricity, and they come off as very nice. They're very approachable, as opposed to the high school environment where the jocks are all, "You want some of this? You want some of this?" Trying to look like one of those, what do you call I'll think of something later. I'm trying to come off as tough, and it's very intimidating to an Aspie, because first impressions are everything to them. Which is why they're usually with the nerdy crowd, because if you have similar interests with them, you're a part of the group. Now, as far as Asperger's and relationships go, I've been with 3 girls in my entire life. I frustrate them because they don't understand. And part of the reason because I never told them that I had it. I've even had family members get upset with me because they didn't have time, or at least they didn't think they had time, or didn't actually take the time to understand what Asperger's syndrome was. Now, the common misconception is that Aspies tend to express no emotion. That's not necessarily true. There was one girlfriend that I had in my entire lifespan up to now that I admittedly still have feelings for. The problem is that she hates me to my very core. I've tried numerous times to apologize, but that being said, don't be under this impression that Aspies are incapable of thought, or incapable of feeling, I mean. Sorry. Because we still feel emotions, we just don't express them in the same context as neurotypicals. This is my smile. You can't make me smile. I feel happy, but should a smile be used to express happiness? And this is when I'm angry. Should a frown or a savage scowl be used to mark anger? And this is when I'm sad. Should tears and this kind of face be necessary to express sadness? I don't think so. Okay, there's tons of people that don't cry that are very sad. You can call it clinical depression, you can call it feeling sorry for yourself, you can call it whatever you want. But yeah. But besides the point, Aspies do express emotions. It's not in the same subtle bodily lingual way that neurotypicals do, essentially. They don't go or okay, that's not entirely, that's, how do I put this? Anyway, that's kind of why romantic relationships are so difficult for Aspies, because the neurotypical partner interprets their lack of expression of their emotions as such as love, happiness, sadness, as they just don't care, they're not happy in that relationship. That's not true. All right, like I said, this is my happy face. All right, that's how I smile. And I smile when I laugh. You know, you can see little grins on me every time I see something funny, like that Putin on the Ritz. That was classic. It's a little GIF of Vladimir Putin, or however you want to pronounce it, and they put him on a Ritz cracker. Now the GIF showed him straddling the Ritz cracker like a motorcycle, and it was rolling. That's classic. But yeah. As far as friends with people with Asperger's, it's kind of the same with romantic relationships. The only difference is that you don't exactly kiss or, for instance, have sex with your friends, being that most of my friends are guys, and I happen to be heterosexual. Just exciting release, but but it has the they kind of reacted the same way. Well, pardon my earlier. We tend to react the same way in relationships as we do in friendships. We don't express emotions with facial cues, or possibly, you know, balling the hand into a fist, or, you know, possibly, you know, doing a happy little jig. Of course, I kind of do that sometimes, but we're very stealthy, very subtle about our emotions. It's very, how do you say, difficult for a neurotypical to read. So it's kind of a miscommunication between an Aspie and a neurotypical. But that's all I gather, you know, from my experiences anyway. But anyway, I think the time on this is about up, so this is Mo Rothis